Hello, my name is Jim Snyder-Grant. I'm a member of the Acton Select Board, and I'm here to talk with you about the Tree Clearing Delay Bylaw, Article 33, on the Acton May Town Meeting warrant. This article, Article 33, proposes a new general bylaw called the Tree Clearing Delay Bylaw. With some important exceptions, this law prohibits the clearing of 1 or more acres of forest unless and until a development permit is issued by the town. For example, for a subdivision approval or a site plan approval. It does not outright prohibit the clearing, it just requires a project to be permitted first, rather than clearing first without approval. It doesn't create a new step in the process. It also has penalties for non-compliance and assures Acton's existing tree fund can be utilized appropriately. Town staff consulted with the Select Board, Conservation Commission, Open Space Committee, and Design Review Board. Town staff also reviewed similar bylaws across the region and state. The intent is for new development or redevelopment of lots. It's not intended to impact smaller projects, such as small-scale additions, septic system upgrades, solar installations, etc. The tree clearing bylaw would have several exceptions for example, public land, agriculture, diseased or blighted trees that pose a hazard, and also Chapter 61 land where there's a requirement to have forest cutting plans. The bylaw would include fines for people who cut before obtaining the permit and would be implemented by the implementing authority who is designated by the town manager. Any money collected by fines will be deposited into the tree fund, used for tree assessments, surveys, buying, planting, and maintaining trees within the town. There's no cost for implementing the bylaw, and no new permit is created. What's led to this bylaw? Over the last 7 years, the town has adopted several planning documents directing the community to prioritize its natural resources, including evaluating and implementing more thoughtful approaches to the protection of intact forests and other ecosystems. In 2022, the town meeting passed a resolution to address land and tree clearing limits. In 2023, the Select Board included in their annual goals to bring a tree clearing bylaw to town meeting. And in the last few years, there have been at least 2 incidents where developers cleared entire parcels of trees while still in the middle of obtaining development permits. While many of us were outraged to see this, there was nothing illegal in what they did. This bylaw fixes that. Acton has always valued its trees, forests, and open space. As a reminder, forests improve air quality, provide stormwater and heat protection, reduce noise, stabilize the soil, provide natural flood and drainage control, create wildlife habitat, enhance property values, store carbon, and provide protection against the adverse impacts of climate change. Forests move carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and lock it away. Focusing on carbon storage for a minute, here's a reminder that larger trees and intact forests are much better at carbon storage than smaller trees and newer forests. The penalties for taking down existing trees via fines or tree plantings take into account the higher value of older and larger trees by using an estimate of the cross-section of trees to measure what needs to be replaced. The cross-section of a tree grows by the square of the diameter. So a 12-inch tree has 16 times the cross-sectional area of a 3-inch tree. Now, here's an example of how the math works. I'd invite you to pause this presentation here if you want to see the details. Now let's put the tree clearing delay bylaw in context with past and possible upcoming bylaws. The town does have existing bylaws that protect its natural resources. For example, the Groundwater Protection Zoning District and our other zoning districts each provide different protection percentages for clearing land and protecting open space. The earth removal bylaw stops the removal of soil, loam, sand, or gravel without a permit. A land disturbance permit applies to both stormwater management and developments where projects are regulated if they hit a certain threshold, such as disturbing or developing 5,000 square feet or more. And the Wetlands Protection Act prohibits clearing within 50 feet of a wetland and regulates tree cutting in the buffer zone beyond that. There are other possible new tree preservation bylaws coming up. Habitat for All, Article 31, protects at least 60% of the land as open space for subdivision developments that are greater than 1 acre. The Planning Department has also started considering how to deal with single-family home lots. Part of the citizens' petition in 2022 contemplated requiring new laws that would restrict people from cutting some trees on their own property. More public engagement is needed in order to address some outstanding questions and considerations for this potential bylaw. Analysis needs to be conducted in order to ensure that the bylaw is equitable across town in different zoning districts, that the town is able to staff the position, that the cost is not disproportionately burdensome to residents, and that mitigation and replacement efforts are fully evaluated. The Select Board recommends that you support Article 33. We expect this to be voted on at the second night of town meeting, Tuesday, May 6th. Please contact me at sb@actonma.gov if you have any questions or concerns. See you at town meeting.